Today's video is brought to you by DistroKid. Hey everyone, it's Jamie Slays, and today I'm going to talk about love and hate relationships between me and other metal genres. So just so you have an idea of what this video is about, I'm going to talk about 5 genres that I really don't like and don't really listen to, and 5 genres that I really do like and I find myself listening to all the time. Going to jump straight in with Christian metal. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jamie, I'm sure there's bands that you like that are Christian metal. It's not that I don't like Christian metal. I think I Prevail is one of them, and so is Devil Wears Prada. I just don't like bands that are preachy about Christian stuff or religion in general. So yeah, Christian metal, any kind of religious metal where that's the main theme. The next one is like Dragon Force are pretty cool, got some cool solos. I did actually used to like Ice Earth quite a lot, not so much anymore. I just never really got into Iron Maiden, and then I never in turn got into power metal that much. And I know there's lots of bands that are inspired by them, like Cradle of Filth, like wouldn't exist without power metal and Iron Maiden, but sorry, I don't really like them. And that kind of leads into the next one, which is doom metal. It's too slow. If anything, it's like painfully slow, like actually almost hurts, like it physically hurts, and I can't deal with how slow it is. I recently was diagnosed in the last like 7 years or so with ADHD, and I've always wondered why I was drawn to faster music. I used to listen to a band called The Berserker, and they play like incredibly fast. And all the songs I write tend to be 200 beats per minute or more. And again, I'm sure there's bands I like that could be considered doom metal, but I just wouldn't actively go and put it on Spotify or Apple Music. That then leads into black metal. Sorry everyone, and this is what I hate the most about this, because I love like blackened music, but I don't really like black metal. But yeah, I could just never really get into like Mayhem, Immortal, Marduk, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I had a friend at school when I was like 15 who loved it, and I tried to get into it, but I think the production stuff was something that really... So yeah, sorry, black metal, you're going in the genres I don't listen to pile. And then the final one is like progressive / gent metal. Again, I've said this every single one, disclaimer, I'm sure there's bands that I like that would be considered as part of this category, but I wouldn't actively go and put Periphery on, or I wouldn't actively go and put Volumes on. I think the gent kind of prog movement is to me like what new metal was like to the kind of old heads, you know, the Metallica, the Slayer fans. So I kind of get it in a way, but I like it, but I've got some 7 strings here in the room, and I've just never really been into the kind of low tuned, but then like tappity tap stuff. I can't really play it. Like some bands I like After the Burial, I don't think that would really be considered as progressive or genty. They're kind of like a more metalcore band, and I just never really got into that kind of stuff, so I'm not really gonna really like go out and listen to it and then learn it. So yeah, that's 5 metal subgenres that I don't really like. And again, a lot of it is that I hate that I wish I liked it, but I can't get into it that much. Maybe I'll give it more time, recommend some songs in the comments below, and maybe then I'll do a video on songs I didn't used to like, but now I do. So, as you'd expect, I'm now doing 5 metal subgenres that I do like, and that I do listen to all the time, and I probably will listen to forever. So the first one would be thrash metal. And actually, I'm probably not a massive thrash metal fan. Like, I don't really like Slayer that much. I wouldn't put on Anthrax. I don't really like... Well, actually, I just got into Creator, and they're pretty sick, and Testament. But I love Metallica, as you can probably tell. And if you're on the channel a lot, I play Metallica all the time. But I love Sylosis as well, and any kind of band that has that thrash element to it. There's a band called Summoning the Lich, or the Lick. I think it's Lich. Hey guys. In America, that are basically like Black Dahlia Murder and Sylosis combined. So if you like those 2 bands, you'll love it. But yeah, anything that has a kind of a thrash metal influence. I know Death aren't a thrash metal band, but Trivium and Sylosis are both heavily inspired by, or heavily influenced by, Death and Metallica, and you know, Obituary and Creator and all that kind of stuff. So the things that they did, like Trivium, Ascendancy was one of my favourite albums growing up, and I learned a lot of kind of right hand stuff from Matt Heafy, and then Josh Middleton as well from Sylosis. I learned a lot from kind of studying their albums, and still do. So yeah, thrash metal, or anything that has kind of thrash metal influences. The Absence are quite cool as well if you like that kind of stuff. So yeah, metalcore. So metalcore has kind of changed a little bit since it first kind of came about. See, nowadays metalcore is kind of like an umbrella just for metal, because if I look at the Spotify metalcore mix, which I'm looking at right now, you've got Bleed From Within, then you've got Bring Me the Horizon, not so much. Sylosis, no, not at all. Spirit Box, not really. Again, has the definition of metalcore changed? Let me know in the comment section below. But Black Dahlia Murder, no. North Lane, no. Chelsea Grin, no. But the bands that are black metal, metalcore, I Killed the Prom Queen, yeah, brilliant. Sharks in Your Mouth is an absolute tune. Chelsea Grin, no, that's deathcore. As Blood Runs Black, deathcore. Parkway Drive were kind of metalcore back in the day, but not so much anymore. Heart of a Coward, they're a great band from the UK. They're not metalcore either though. They're like, again, they're like that gent progressive era, 8-string, 7-string guitars. But that's the thing, I think metalcore has become its own umbrella now. So really, if you say I like metalcore, you could be listing anything. Ghost Inside, Error, God Forbid, Chelsea Grin, Currents, Heart of a Coward, The Art is Murder, Architects, Suicide Silence. Like, some of those bands aren't metalcore at all. But that leads into the next genre, which I really like, which is deathcore. Hey, deathcore I got into with bands like Suicide Silence. The Cleansing was like my favourite album, and it is my favourite Suicide Silence album still to this day. When I first heard Unanswered on myspace.com, that shows how old I am, I listened to it literally on repeat for like a whole day, if not more than one day. But then it was things like Suffocation, but then it's things like Suffocate, which is Ricky Huber, who's now in the band of Sulphur, I think. That was his band. He used to have huge stretched ears. Chelsea Grin with the kind of Chain Stokes Desolation of Eden EP. All Shall Perish, amazing band. I'm trying to think of lots of more deathcore bands that I really, really used to like. Annotations and Autopsy, that kind of stuff, which was death metal vibes, but usually it was down-tuned guitars, but specifically drop-tuned, like drop B, drop C, drop A, whereas a death metal generally is a C sharp standard or C standard or D standard. It's like a standard power chord kind of chugging thing without down-tuned. There wasn't really any breakdowns in death metal, so deathcore brings the hardcore element from metalcore of breakdowns, gang chants and that kind of stuff. Hardly any singing, like literally no singing. Some bands do that now, but that kind of makes them come out of the deathcore era and go more into progressive metal. But yeah, deathcore is something that I still really like. Bands like Lorna Shore, Brand of Sacrifice. What other bands are there now that I still like? Chelsea Grin are still doing it and they're amazing. Angel Maker, amazing band. Still, again, I don't know if these bands would want to be considered deathcore anymore. I don't know if that's a thing, but for me, it's still the genre that they fit into. Fit for an Autopsy, The Art is Murder. Those guys I would consider deathcore, but again, they might be more death metal or progressive metal or whatever. So yeah, that ties in quite nicely with the next metal subgenre, which is melodic death metal. Now, I like death metal, Cannibal Corpse, Decapitated, that kind of stuff, Nile, but after a while it gets a bit boring and a bit samey, no offence. So the next one, I guess, would be things like Children of Bodom, Arch Enemy, Black Dahlia Murder. That's melodic death metal to me. It's things with melody, obviously. It's got harmonies, it's got dual guitar parts. Children of Bodom has guitar solos and keyboard solos. You could technically put that in like the power metal section, but I think because of the lyrical content, I would say it's more melodic death metal. But yeah, I grew up really, really loving Children of Bodom. I kind of, unfortunately for me, skipped like Metallica and Pantera, went to like At the Gates, Children of Bodom, 6 Feet Under, that kind of thing, and then went back to Pantera, unfortunately, after Dimebag died, rest in peace. But yeah, Children of Bodom I was listening to with the green album and the blue one, so I think it was, what's the green one? Hate Breeder, I think, and Bottom Follow the Reaper, that one. Bottom After Midnight was one of my favourite songs. And the red one with Needle 24/7, those are great albums. But they kind of made it big in the West when they went to Drop C and signed with ESP and did Are You Dead Yet and In Your Face. But yeah, Black Dahlia Murder I've loved ever since their first album Unhallowed, and Miasma, Vulgar Picture is one of my favourite songs. Arch Enemy, I used to love the song Ravenous, and Wages of Sin. Great solos from Chris Amott and Michael Amott. Carcass, I don't think are melodic death metal, but they're in the Google melodic death metal section, but I don't think they actually are. Soilwork and In Flames are great, but again, they're more like, was it Gothenburg, Swedish death metal. But yeah, melodic death metal, anything that's kind of heavy, C standard, C sharp standard, but with melodies and guitar solos. The Absence, I know I said they were kind of thrash metal, but they are still technically a bit melodic death metal. And there was a band from Bristol called Shadow Law, which Andy Gilliam was in. Hello, Andy. He's I'd say he's a good friend of mine. All right, mate. He is now a solo artist, but he was in Mors Principium Est and Shadow Law. And Shadow Law were amazing. Their drummer was ridiculously good. Andy was amazing, and he would write really cool, like you know, to the untrained ear, it sounds like power metal, but it's definitely melodic death metal. E standard as well, I think, or D standard they played in, and now he plays in E standard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, I think. But yeah, he's currently on tour with his own solo project, which is amazing. And he's amazing. He's so good. He's like a protege. He was good ever since he was like a kid. So I used to play gigs with that band quite a lot, in the band I was in, Through the Abyss, and everyone loved them. My dad loved them. I loved them. Everyone in the band, Evita, loved them. Now this is one that people are probably going to flame me for in the comments if people still say that. Nu metal. Nu metal is probably should have been number one. Is probably one of my favourite genres ever, let alone metal subgenres. So you've got Soil, you've got American Head Charge, Alien Ant Farm, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Spineshank, Slipknot. Yes, they are nu metal. There's nu metal elements in both the first two albums. There's rapping and everything. Soulfly, technically I wasn't a massive fan, but I like them. But that genre of music kind of shaped my whole knowledge of what metal even is. Like, there's memes, you know, I'll try and find it and put it over the top, of Linkin Park representing a barrel going over a waterfall into like death metal and the Berserker and all that kind of stuff. And that was the same for me. I loved garage music, which essentially is like grime nowadays, so Solid Crew and Oxide and Neutrino, British music kind of stuff. And then my sister's friend brought over Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit albums, along with Dr. Dre 2001, which is an amazing album. And I was like, what is this? Oh my god, rapping and guitars and what? Scratching stuff. Yeah, hire me for all bar mitzvahs and weddings. And that was kind of my gateway into death metal, I suppose. Then you had Linkin Park with Crawling and Paper Cut on MTV and The Box and Kerrang! And then you had Limp Bizkit with My Generation and Rolling. That was an absolute banger back in the day. Then I saw the video for Slipknot's Left Behind, and I was like, what is this? They're in the rain in Des Moines with goats, and there's a kid pouring milk, and it's like brown water, and then there's a knife, and there's like butcher stuff, and it's great, and it's one of the best metal videos ever. That song was actually one of the songs that made me want to play guitar. And yeah, I still listen to nu metal now. I've got a nu metal playlist that I always listen to. Hybrid Theory is without a doubt one of the best albums ever made ever, and it's definitely the album of our generation. I was born in 1988, so I got into metal in 1999 and 2001. So yeah, anyone who's a similar age to me probably will quote Hybrid Theory as one of the best albums ever. Then you got things that aren't really nu metal, but like Sum 41, which now apparently is considered dad rock. I don't know how. But I would say kind of anything of that era. I mean, System of a Down, technically I would put in that subgenre, but they're not really nu metal. There's no rapping, really. There's no electronical elements. They're like progressive folk, country, jazz, metal, rock. They're to this day, no one's ever come close to being as good as at what they do and as unique as what they do. So System of a Down I still would put in that era as anything that was on the Kerrang! TV back in the day. But yeah, Spineshank are great. New Disease is an absolute tune. Soil, Halo is a great song. American Head Charge, Just So You Know, is an absolute tune. I love that song. And then what they call Drowning Pool, Tearing Away, has got one of the best solos ever. I know it's so simple and the wah pedal makes it sound great, but that song is amazing. But any music that was kind of on Blade 1, 2 and 3, Spider-Man the movie, Puddle of Mud were technically nu metal, not really, but they are. Nickelback, How You Remind Me was an absolute tune as well. Evanescence, that's it. Evanescence, what an absolute tune. As much as I didn't like them, I absolutely love them. They're not my guilty pleasure. Taproot, yes. Head PE, yes. Machine Head, yes. They have that song where they're all wearing like latex and they have like dreadlocks. That is definitely nu metal. Kitty, again, didn't really like them, but Brachus is an absolute banger. Seven Dust, never really got into them. Spineshank, yes. Stained, not so much, but that song they did with the music video with the cigarette was amazing. American Head Charge, yeah, I've already said that. So that's the little list that's on Google. So as you can see, I've talked about it the longest, that nu metal is my absolute favourite genre of all time. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid. DistroKid is an awesome platform for musicians like me to be able to post their own music online, get the music shared to all streaming platforms, giving you 100% of the royalty, and be able to share that royalty with anyone else in your team as well. Things I love the most about DistroKid, right? Super easy to use. The team are really helpful whenever you need them. Another great thing is they always keep you up to date with all the streaming platforms that are ready to show off your music. They give you a little link to it, and also a share page so that you can share it with all your friends on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. I love DistroKid. I've been using it for years now, and I've been posting all my music recently to iTunes and Spotify and all the other streaming platforms using DistroKid. And the best thing is, the guys at DistroKid are giving you the chance to get 7% off your annual subscription by using my VIP code www.distrokid.com/VIP/Jamie Slays. That's www.distrokid.com patreon.com/VIP/Jamie Slays, and that will get you 7% off your annual subscription. That's the list of 5 metal subgenres I hate and will never listen to, and obviously 5 that I love to death. Thanks again to DistroKid for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description below to get yourself 7% off your first annual subscription. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with any of those. What are your favourite bands? What are your favourite metal subgenres? If you like the video, leave a like and I'll make more videos just like this one. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel and ring the bell, because then every time I make a new video like this one, you'll get notified. I'll see you guys next week for some more metal videos.